What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to whatever this is. My name is Dave Connery, and in this channel I talk about creative things, and typically what I've been talking about is how to do the creative things, or at least show you how I do some of the creative things, and then I intersperse some other idea that may not necessarily be related, but it's still kind of nice. At least that's what I think I'm doing. You get to decide. But today we're gonna go nuts and bolts, folks. Today we are gonna do another process video. You're gonna see every single aspect of everything I'm designing, which is an abstract graphic design-ish poster thing, and I'm gonna show you everything, and I'm gonna talk about my steps along the way so that you understand this is my process. Now, maybe it's something that you might wanna do for yourself, or maybe it's not. I'm not asking you to follow me step by step. In fact, I probably wouldn't be able to do that anyway, but you at least get to see the different things that I do to create the work that I create, so that maybe you can go create something else for yourself in your own special way. Before we get into that, I just want to make a note that this video is 100% ad-free thanks to viewer support. So if you wanted to get in on some of the action that other people are getting that you're not getting, go check out patreon.com/DaveConnery and see what that's all about, because I'm giving away free goodies, behind the scenes stuff, and things you don't ever see anywhere else. You're only gonna get there at Patreon, so go please check it out and get in on this action. Well, this action is for you, but the other action. Again, patreon.com/DaveConnery. Link in the description. So today what we're talking about is poster design, and in this particular poster design I'm doing a very simple poster, but something that I've been wanting to do for some time. I've always had this idea that I wanted to take classic signs, like signage from the 50s and 60s, the very space age, what they used to call googie signage, and take that and turn that into an art series. And so that's what we're doing today. We're starting today with what I'm calling Golden Liquor. It's actually called something else, but I changed the name because it's actually a liquor store right down the street from me, and I didn't want to use their name, so it's now my name, and I'm appropriating it for my own purposes and for yours too. So as I said, what I've got here is a poster design based on a signage down the street. This one is called Golden Liquor. What I'm doing here first off is I'm creating a path. First thing I have to do with any of these is I have to create a path, because I love the sign, don't like all the other crap in the way. So I'm creating a path in Photoshop around that by using the pen tool. If you don't know how to use the pen tool, it's really pretty simple. You're basically just outlining the whole thing all the way to go around. What you're looking at right now is you're seeing the version that I did within my iPhone. I create a lot of my designs in my iPhone first, and if I really like them, then I'll take that and I'll put them into Photoshop and I'll do a more robust version. And so that's what you've got going on here. I'm taking the same elements. I really enjoyed the elements that I put into the original design, so I'm basically redoing that almost line for line, almost shape for shape. So what you're seeing here is exactly that. First thing I did was, like I said, I created that path around that thing, and then I put some shapes down there, that golden sunlight, round big circle thing, and then I'm repositioning everything around that. I'm not trying to get it exactly right. In fact, you'll see that I'll be resizing some of this as we go. What I did right there is I created a little bit of a noise foreground, and what that is for is to give the photo a little bit more grit, because there are certain aspects that I've added to this that are a little bit different than the original photo. Like I said, I changed the name from what it was to Golden Liquor, and the words that I had written in golden, how I'd written that, didn't quite match up to the grit of the original image. So what I wanted to do is change it so that it looked a little bit more incongruous. It looked a little bit like it was supposed to be there. So I added this mask and I filled it with 50% gray, and then I added the noise, and then I set that to overlay so that it would lay over and kind of give that same gritty tone that's just subtle enough to be seen at a distance. And if you looked in really, if you zoomed in really close, you would see what it is. But when it comes to printing, you won't see that much of a differentiation. So I'm just getting through here and I'm adjusting the tones to make sure that everything kind of works well together. I want to get a really high contrast image, and now it's just figuring out what's the right balance. How do I balance this together? How do I get this to fit right on the page the way I want? One of the other things I wanted to do with this is I'm going to fill it with color and fill some of these spaces with color, but I didn't want it to just be color swatches. I wanted it to kind of have a a texture to itself. So I'm going on to Unsplash.com, where you can get free stock photography to pull and use at your leisure without having to worry about copyright and all that other stuff, because these photographers have given these up to be free. But that being said, I will link to all the photographers, all the art that I did use. I will put that in the descriptions because I want these people to get a little bit of a plug. So I'll go over to Unsplash, I find my different patterns, find my different textures, and then I'm going to use those as background color imagery behind the sign. So now this technique that you're seeing here right now is I'm taking some of these images and I'm going super high contrast with them. So I go in, I make a levels adjustment. You can do that by hitting Command L, or you can go up in the menu palette, you go to adjustments, and then you go levels. So essentially I know what colors I want to use, and I'm just laying color over on top of that pattern that I just created, and then making a very quick outline around where I want it to place. And then as I do that, I'm going to fill that and then overlay it on top. It's not perfect, and I don't want it to be perfect. I want it to kind of be imperfect as we do this. And so I'm repeating that process using a different texture to kind of differentiate the different sign pieces from one another. As I said before, I'm not trying for any kind of perfection. I really kind of want an imperfect aspect to this, and that's why everything is really moving fast. I'm moving really quickly because I'm not interested in making perfect. I'm interested in making interesting. If I did it perfect, it wouldn't quite have the same relationship as an art piece. It would feel too, well, perfect. And I don't want that. I want it to feel like not just something I created in Photoshop. I want it to feel like something that was actually thought through and processed and maybe put on a canvas and then scanned back in. And granted, even though that's not exactly what happened, I want it to feel that way. Whoever buys this, I want them to feel the warmth of it. I want them to feel the energy of it. I want them to see the depth between the different layers. The way I'm doing that is, number one, being rough cut. Number two, creating the different textures so that there is some sort of overlay and it creates this mood to the piece. Now that I'm largely finished with this one, it was a really quick one, but I'm just going through and just kind of nailing down some little tiny little elements that just kind of give it a bit more thing, you know, a bit more little edge, a bit more little grunge, a bit more little detail that most people probably won't notice or care about, but it's something that I have thought about a lot, and so yeah, I'm making adjustments. And just when I thought I was done, I wasn't done. I decided to go and add a few more elements. I usually try to not put my name on things right out of the gate, but I didn't quite feel like it was there. Like it wasn't quite to my level of expectation when it comes to this stuff. So let's go ahead and add a little bit more layer and see if this works. I'm not 100% feeling it yet, so we're just playing around at this point to see if I can get something going. But the adding of the colors, I did this to see would it look better with the different colors, would it look better on a different background, would it look better with some sort of texture back there. And I essentially went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth till eventually I ended up right back where I started. Now you can see there it kind of added a little bit of a blue hue to the background, but the end result is actually right here. And that's only because I stopped filming myself while I was doing this, and then I went ahead and just did it on the side. But you can see what I'm doing, and you really want to see it up close and personal, or rather in some other environment. You can go check it out on my Etsy page at daveconnery.etsy.com, which you can find in the description down below, but no obligations. You know, they're basically the same thing. And I plan on doing more of these sign posters in the future. There's plenty of these signs around my town, and so at some point I'm going to be doing more of them. I've been doing a few more of my typographical abstracts, which you can also see on the Etsy page if you're interested. Again, no obligation. I've been doing a few of those first because it just happens to be what I'm inspired by right now, but the signs will be coming more. And I will be doing more of these hands-on so that you can see, you know, just basically what I'm doing. That said, I'm probably going to be doing more of them within my Patreon page. And if I didn't explain it perfectly before, this video is brought to you 100% ad-free by viewers like you who are supporting the channel, who are supporting the podcast that I do. You know, I've got a podcast called Art Lessons Podcast. You can check it out on iTunes or wherever. If you want to become part of the Patreon thing, go check out patreon.com/DaveConnery, where you can get in on this action, where I'll be doing more videos like this for them, maybe even a little bit of live action stuff. And hey, I might even get back to this thing at some point. because actually I've got other art projects I need to get to. But anyway, there you go. That's my golden liquor poster. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any thoughts, questions, concerns, want to know how I did what I did, please, by all means, just ask. I will go into super hyper detail about every single thing I've done. If you want me to, I'll go nuance. I'll get nuance as F with you. All right, folks, that's it. I'm out. I'm gonna get out of here and I'm gonna go make some more art. So until then, remember, be good today, be better tomorrow. See ya.